Welcome to the Kyle Olson Show. Michiganders are rising up. We've been cooped up all winter. It's sunny, 70 degrees, and we're not going to take Gretchen Whitmer's crap anymore. My hero this week is Carl Mankey, a 77-year-old barber from Owasso outside Lansing. Mr. Mankey didn't qualify for unemployment, so he reopened his business. What has happened in the ensuing days has been a spectacle to behold. On the one side, you have the funny, elderly, affable barber. When asked about legal threats from Governor Whitmer and Attorney General Dana Nessel, he responded, "What are they going to give me? Life? I've got one foot in the grave and the other on a banana peel. I could care less." Statements like that are Gretchen Whitmer's worst nightmare. The Empress has no clothes. On the other side, you have the angry, defeated, petulant governor clinging to heavy-handed authority, stewing over her podium, verbally wagging her finger at us dim-witted rubes who somehow made it all these years on Earth without her as our mother. And now, you have people fighting back in the courts, fighting back in the streets, fighting back on the airwaves, fighting back in the barbershops, and fighting back on the beaches, and fighting back on billboards with the simple statement that shouldn't be controversial. All business is essential. Erik Kiilunen is fighting back. He's leading an economic disobedience movement, and he joins me now. All right, Erik, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Kyle.
So you've got this campaign that you've started called of economic disobedience. Tell me about that.
Well, I was sitting around a couple of weeks ago and around my house just pacing, wondering when is somebody going to speak what's on my mind? You know, who's going to stand up and do this? You know, after thinking about it for quite a while time, literally pacing the house, I caught my reflection in the mirror and just, you know, it kind of dawned on me that if nobody else will, I guess it's your job. And so I took it on at that time and just decided it's got to be said. And so I sat down and said, well, what do I want to say? And I just kind of wrote the first header to the note to myself, which was economic disobedience or economic suicide, your choice. And I started with that as a core thing. I started doing some research on it. And really what I want to accomplish with this campaign is 1, eliminate fear, 2, educate the public, and 3, restart the economy. Apolitically, I don't really give a damn. Michigan's on life support, and we need to fix it now. And while they're arguing in Lansing about what we should do, I went over and started looking at the numbers. And you know, I'm just a business guy. I'm not a statistician by any chance. But when I look at the Michigan statistics, we got 10 million citizens and people in the state, and we've got around 4,000 deaths. And I'm looking at the mass, and you have less than a 0.0001% chance of dying of COVID. I'm sitting here scratching my head saying, "What's up?"
Right.
The numbers to me, as I dug into them, just got they're stupid, really. And if you pull the state of Michigan data right off the website, and you do some averaging and put it out and look at over the last 5 years, our death rate is virtually unchanged. It's about identical. Our heart deaths are down, our pulmonary deaths are down, our COPD deaths are down, and here's COVID. And so I think if you just took COVID away, you'd find out that all the lines would normalize. And so when I see something like that, I'm just like, okay, who's cooking the books? And
right.
It didn't make a lot of sense to me. So I got upset about it and decided to do something about it.
So you're in Keweenaw County in the Upper Peninsula, and you, to date, your county has been treated just like Wayne County, just like Kent County. It's been this sort of one-size-fits-all approach that the governor has taken.
We got 4 people across the across the entire Upper Peninsula that have been classified as dying of COVID. And I've got people on my little hometown street. We all know each other. Now they're wearing white masks and they're looking at you like you're some evil person if you don't have it
right.
on. And it's just, it's like this fear campaign that's been ginned up. And I'm just trying to call common sense and saying, this is not something I fear. Something I do fear is doing this for another 2-3 months, taking $5 billion, $6 billion out of the state's economy and then showing up and saying, okay, now what do we do with 3 or 4 million unemployed people?
Right.
That's just a given. That will happen.
Right. So your slogan is all business is essential. That makes sense to me. Have you met any sort of resistance? What has the feedback been?
Largely none. I mean, largely it's everybody's like, finally somebody's talking what I'm thinking. And I use the analogy because they always try to screw up all the feelings and, bring it all up to and make it all emotional. And I just say, okay, you have somebody in Detroit. Let's just make her a single mother. She's running a beauty salon down there and she's taking care of a special needs child. All right. And you have the audacity to walk in and tell her that her business is not essential.
Right.
I mean, that's just insane. And so I'm just speaking up for everybody that's in that position. And I got hit by it hard personally, which makes it very easy for me to speak about.
What happened with you?
Well, my business, the state shut down. And so that's when I kind of pulled my head up and started paying attention to things. And all of a sudden I lost $600,000 worth of business overnight. I mean, I had a 10-man contracting company. I laid everybody off. There was just nothing to do. So we had, that went on, and I took in, we filed for the PPP. Thankfully, we got some of it, but I'm looking around as a business guy saying, now what? So we're supposed to be down for 2 to 4 weeks. And you start looking around after 4 weeks, and now it's going to a month. Now it's going to 2 months. And it's like, no, you cannot just stop and start a business. It just doesn't work that way.
Right.
A couple of weeks ago, I called up all my teammates and I just says, who wants to go back to work? And out of 10 people, 9 of them came back. We did, there's no pressure. If you're not comfortable, don't come out. No big deal. But if you are comfortable, let's get back to work. And I did it, and I made it very public. This is in defiance of the governor's order. At this point, she's gone beyond sanity. And for me, I'm just trying to communicate with all the people in the state of Michigan in particular and the United States is when your government's busy throwing rocks at each other and doing nothing productive for the country, it's up to us just to stand up and straighten it out. And we can straighten out the legal battles, we can straighten out the court battles, but Michigan's on life support. And if we don't fix it now, we're going to have a problem of colossal proportions coming down the pike in 6 months, 3 months.
Right. It's so easy for a Gretchen Whitmer or a Dr. Fauci or bureaucrats or politicians to say, no, we need to wait because their paychecks are not in jeopardy. Their jobs are not in jeopardy. But you've got people like you.
You look at it, and I'm so tired of hearing about experts. The definition of an expert is somebody who lives farther than 100 miles away from you and charges an exorbitant amount of money. And I just look around my area and I just see awful lot of experts that wear blue jeans, t-shirts, and go to work every day.
That's right.
It's just time to read. Put it this way. If you want to be an expert, you better be accurate. When your first numbers are 2 million deaths in the United States and you're at 60,000 and trying to get it up to 80 or whatever you're trying to do, I'm sorry, you no longer qualify as an expert.
So for your All Business is Essential campaign, you started a GoFundMe. How is that going?
It's going well. I think we're at 27, 28, 29,000, somewhere around there. And it's growing. You go to GoFundMe, it's All Business is Essential. We're doing what we can on a very limited budget. And all I'm trying to do is just talk in particular, again, to the state of people, the people in Michigan. If we all just get up and go to work, there's just nothing they can do with us. You got 10 million people, everybody gets up, go to work, be peaceable, leave the guns at home. We don't need them. There's not enough of them to police us all. And we're acting as, isn't it a crying shame? I'm now a criminal in the state of Michigan.
So the idea is that people can go on the GoFundMe page and make a donation, and then those dollars will go towards putting up billboards around the state of Michigan, but then also potentially around the country as well, correct?
Correct. If somebody wants me to lead the charge around the country and we can fill up enough coffers to do it, I'm happy to lead. I'm an introvert, believe it or not, but I'm one that got punched in the nose, and at this point, I'll do anything I can to help the country. I see it as a mission for the country. We as a country, we do need to wake up.
Whether it's you or it's Carl, people need to stand up and look at the difference I think people like you and Carl are making. You're providing courage for others to do the same. Now, but before we go, you have declared May 21st is Take Yourself to Work Day. Tell me about that.
Well, we just picked an arbitrary day and says you have to have some time to communicate it. You have to have some time to know about it, but it's really... It was formed around the thought that we used to have these days where we'd take our kids to work and educate them on how their parents make a living. And it just occurred to us that maybe we ought to go back and walk ourselves back into the office or back into the factory or wherever we work, the field, and go take ourselves back to work again. This is what we're supposed to be doing. And so that's kind of the genesis of it.
And just do it.
If you want to come and find us, I'll have at it. Tear the tickets up and just smile at them.
Erik Kiilunen, thank you very much for joining me today.
You bet, Kyle. My pleasure. Take care.
from fascism on the campus to fascism on the beaches and playgrounds when we come back. This is The Kyle Olson Show.